Today I'm going to install a wireless charger in my Bronco from a company called Broaddict. I didn't get the Lux package, I got the High package, so mine didn't come with one. This is listed as a factory replacement. It's a fast charging 20 watt. Comes with a little trim removable tool you see there. And let's take a look at the instructions. As with most things that I've installed here from Broaddict, it should be pretty straightforward and simple. Shows removing the console top cover around the gear shift. Only 6 steps. Removing the factory cover plate that's there, and should be pretty good. Nice silicone pad here for the top to keep the foam from sliding around. There's a T-harness that uses the factory plug that would have gone to the factory charger if it was there, and then plugs into this charger with a 5-amp fuse. The heat sinks look pretty good here. A lot of people say, oh, it needs fans, but you know, my wireless charger at the house and the one at the work that I use don't have fans, so why should the car? If it's has good heat management, I see no reason for fans, but we'll install it and try it out with a couple of different phones, and I'll report back if there's any heat issues, but I don't foresee any. Okay, let's take a closer look at the instructions here. First step is to remove the 2 bolts from the grab handle. It shows inserting the pry tool and lifting the console up, and then removing the factory cover plate that's in place, and screwing the new charger in its place and plugging the harness into the existing factory harness. And then it looks like put everything back and put the silicone cover over it. Hey, that looks simple, right? Let's get to it. The first step is to remove the factory grab handle on the console side, and it takes a standard T30 Torx bit. So we're just going to remove these bolts here. I found the easiest way to get the console to unsnap is to leverage those 2 bolt mounting pads and press up just enough to get you a gap started at the bottom. Then you could stick their tool in that gap there and pull up, and you'll hear the clips unsnap. But the console is not going to move too much because it's still attached at the rear. You just want to unsnap these several clips on the side, and then we'll grab it from the rear at the armrest console and pull up from there, and you'll see here it just pops up pretty good. There is one cable that goes to the goat mode switch. It's easy, just reach under there and unsnap that small cable. But the console is not going to come up until we put it in neutral, so we're going to start up the accessory circuit so we have power to remove the switch, make sure it's in park, move it back to the neutral or drive position, and the console, you'll want to wiggle it a little bit. It will come loose from the front, but it does take a little wiggling to get it out from under the air conditioner controls. Here you see I have it unattached from the back, and I've already disconnected the goat mode switch. You'll have one small cable here at the gear shift lever that goes to the manual up and down buttons. You'll want to disconnect that, and then you have 2 Phillips head screws that hold the gear shift to this column. You'll see right here where I'm pointing. You'll want to remove those, and the gear shift should pull straight off. I have the perfect tool for that, which is a right angle DeWalt from Home Depot that you can attach to a driver, and that works really well to get in tight situations like that. If you've ever wondered what's under the console, there's plenty of room under there. It shouldn't have any heat issues. It should have pretty good airflow. There's the AC converter for your home power ports, 110 volts. And there's the plates you want to remove there. Simply just 4 little torque head screws. I'm going to put a towel down so I can flip it over and not mar the top finish. We'll remove this rubber pad here that's covering where the charger goes. And yes, anytime I work on a Bronco, it draws blood. These plastic edges are sharp, so watch yourself. Here are the 4 torque bit small screws that you'll remove this cover plate from. Let's see here. It is a T20. And we'll just put this into a hand driver and remove those real quick. That cover just lifts off very easy and exposes the open area where you'll put this new charger in place. It'll only go one way. If you flip it around the other way, it won't quite line up with the holes. They're offset just a bit. So just make sure you got it lined up with the proper holes, and replace those 4 torque bits. And as far as that, you're done. We'll move on to the wiring after that. I did forget, when you remove the console initially, you have the one small plug at the goat mode switch, you have the one small plug at the gear shift lever, and there is a plug that plugs into those USB ports right there that you'll have to unplug. And that's also where the plug is located for the factory wireless charger. If you don't have the factory wireless charger, that plug's still there. You just unplug it and remove the console top. I did put this silicone pad on upside down. I'll correct that later when I figure that out. You just find the open end to their T-harness and plug into the factory harness that was supposed to go to the factory wireless charger. There, you see it there. The other end will go to the plug behind the USB ports. And of course it only fits one way. Just make sure it does snap in and click. There's the factory cable that powers the USB ports. We'll put it back in place. And now it's just a matter of putting the car back in neutral, so the gear shifts straight up and down, and putting the console back in. And there I have the silicone pad in its proper orientation. I have a couple of old phones that I tried, just old Droid Turbo. You'll see that it charges right off the bat. I'll also put this cover plate I have that I brought with some false leather. It's about 1/8 of an inch thick, so I wasn't sure if it had enough power to go through it, but it seems like it's going to charge okay. You'll notice the lights on the wireless charger are blue when it's in standby mode, and when you set a phone on it and it does start the charging process, they will turn to green. I really wish they'd put them further out so the phone wouldn't cover them up. This is my Z Flip 5, the new phone I use, and it has a small cover on it, but it charges fine. And you'll see here, I'll try it in a couple of different positions. So it is picky with that cover on the back. We're going to halfway fold it and sit it there, and you'll see that it goes into fast charging mode. You have to line up the charger with the back of the phone that has the charging antennas in it. Charges fine just about any way you put it in the folded mode. And we'll try it with this little false leather cover plate in. And it's a little pickier with that since I have the cover on my phone. It still charges fine when it's halfway folded. The antenna is obviously in the bottom part of my phone. You'll see it still goes into fast charging mode. And when I fold it completely, that's where it gets a little tickier. It did charge earlier in that position, but I had to turn it sideways here to get it to charge for some reason. But it seems to be doing fine. And there you have it. I'll try it out with a few different phones. I'll borrow my daughter's, and we're supposed to go on a small trip later, and I'll report back. But all in all, I think this is a pretty good deal. I'm happy so far. And as always, I appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time.